Junkin' Fool over here working on the motorhome. Well, I put new valve cover gaskets on it and put new spark plugs in it, and I put a new cap and rotor. They didn't have the wires, so I had to put the new carburetor on it. It's getting there. Oh, I painted it a little bit. Didn't get real fancy, but painted the manifolds. I had some barbecue grill paint laying around. I kind of taped that up a little bit. This guy didn't take too long with them. But I had to change the gaskets anyway, and I was looking at the plugs, and they're the ones I pulled out of that old motorhome, which I couldn't get running. Well, I haven't got it running yet. I still got to bolt this on. I'm thinking about painting that black, putting some newspapers around the alternator and just painting that up a little bit since I've got the paint. And I painted that tube that runs out there to put the oil in. I painted that black. It's that paint from the barbecue. And I did, of course, both sides. And the valve covers were leaking. So, painted the intake manifold. You can see a couple spots I missed. But yeah, so I got that nut off there with a center punch. Got it turning and had to find another one. Anyway, painted that thing there. That was kind of, got the breather tube hooks to that. So I think that paint adds, what, 15 to 25 horsepower. And a shiny carburetor. Of course, somehow or another I lost a clip. I can't seem to figure out where that's at. Hold that on, so I just stuck that on there temporarily. I took it down the road. It's running a lot better than it has been. It's still I gotta set the timing, which I'm pretty close now. At least it'll pull itself. So it is pretty much warmed up. I haven't figured the gas gauge out. I don't dare drive it too far. And actually, it probably, I got to put some antifreeze in it. I got some antifreeze I bought from the yard sale. Oh yeah, before I went and bought the plugs, well, I've checked the oil pressure. Before I went and bought the plugs, me and Debbie went and did a compression test on all the cylinders. And they're all basically 125, a couple of them were 130, so I'd rather have been 145, but it appears that it's going to be a good engine. Oh, that's the amps. I thought we were overheating. I'll do a recap on what I did. So I put the exhaust manifold gaskets on both sides and new bolts. This doesn't actually have the donuts. It's got the flange fitting right to the manifold. So new exhaust manifold gaskets, new valve cover gaskets, new carburetor, which seemed to help a lot. I probably could have cleaned the old one and fixed it up. The adjustments on it were seized up. I might have been able to get them out, but I probably would have broke them. And I actually bought a new coil and new plugs. So yeah, not a whole lot of money and a lot of new stuff, but It definitely needed valve cover gaskets. They were leaking. So yeah, it's running pretty good. It was when I first fired it up, it was smoking a little bit, and I think that stuff I bought in a can from the yard sale, I think that gas might have been a little bad for how long it'd been sitting around. So I put some more gas in it. The valve cover, the plug wires. I come out here a couple different times. I come out here last night about 11:30 at dark and fired it up and tried to basically put it in gear and put a lot of pressure or put some torque on the engine or whatever, but I didn't see any sparks. Usually I like to do that at night and just let it set and run, let it warm up and look real good for sparks on the wires, see if they're shorting out. These ones didn't short out, but there's a few more things I'm going to do. I'm going to get it in time, and I am going to put new wires on it, and I got to reattach that up. More likely going to paint it real quick. I don't know why, because get the doghouse back on it. I got to put the breather on it. Now I got the little thing that goes up here that the wing nut goes on. That didn't come on this carburetor, but I got it on my old one. I got to put that on yet. I may get the valve cover gaskets, or I mean plug wires tomorrow. I'm back and forth with so many projects. I know I tend to say the wrong thing. I haven't figured out how to put them words in there like some of the guys do to say what they mean, but when you're doing on the low budget and junk and fool style, do the best you can. But so yeah, it's coming along. I think it looks better. Kind of picking away at it before snow flies. Yeah, right here is the old carburetor. I tried to take the clip off of this one for that thing, but it was different. Yeah, these, well, I can turn that one. One of these I was trying to, yeah, that one's seized up. That's the one to come off there. That looks a little rough. I didn't even notice that. That one had a lot thicker gasket. I went with a thinner one, and I don't know if maybe that affects that choke. Here's my painting booth. There's a gasket for one of them. I think this is the one that was leaking pretty bad. Someplace I seen some cracks in it. But I put the cork ones on. There's the engine paint I used. That's supposed to be the color of it, old Dodge styled. Here's some stuff we found for barbecue grills. High heat. It might hold up, it might not. So anyway, that's what the junk and fool's been doing today. Yeah, this come off my hood. I realized that was missing. I went to pop the hood. I don't know if it, I guess it just popped out of the little bracket that holds it. I thought I might have lost it down the road because I went down the road and pulled a Yui. Actually, I got kind of a low tire in the back. I've been driving. I don't want to run it out of gas. I'd probably put 5 gallons in it now and take it for a longer drive. I'm still gonna flush the block and change the oil. Oh, to do this wiring, I took them off one at a time, and I just did 1, 2, 3, 4 and marked them. I know that ain't the firing order, and I did the back side as 5, 6, 7, 8, just so I could slap them back on. I generally do that, and then I know firing orders wrote on there. I got it on a piece of paper. I'm looking for that grease right there. Get some of the tools out of here because I keep seeing that oil pressure gauge leaking. I've tightened that up a couple times. I may have to. It looked like somebody might have sealed the intake on this at one time or another, but I didn't see any leaks coming out of there. There's the exhaust. Still sounds like a little mess, but we're getting there. There's the breather. I'm going to clean that all up. Might throw some paint on that, change a filter. They didn't have that end either. Yeah, they're having a heck of a time getting parts. A few parts stores I go to, and they all say they're having a hard time. Yeah, I think some good fresh gas in here and dry this thing. A lot of that would straighten right out. And I noticed all the gears seem to be in the transmission. I think this has got a module under transmission. I think it's not hooked up to the vacuum module. I used to mess with them years ago. Just a little rubber hose that runs down from the engine. So I may have to. Well, I am going to crawl under there and probably put a. Probably going to still change the transmission screen and gasket and everything like that, and make sure that's all hooked up and before I go too far with this thing. Well, hey, thanks for stopping by Pourville. Go find a project or not. Sometimes they work out and sometimes they don't. This one, it's looking pretty good. Goodbye now.